Welcome to part 3 of Creating Intentional Success, the third and final lesson in this series. Hello, I'm Kim Moore, founding partner with the John Maxwell team, and I'm passionate about helping emerging, aspiring, and experienced leaders expand their influence, lead with confidence, and achieve successful outcomes. Now today, we are going to do exactly that. Learn to achieve successful outcomes. As you recall, in part 1, you learned about my success journey. You also learned why being intentional today matters and how to make every day a masterpiece. And don't forget, I asked you to start preparing to change your life. In part 2, we introduced and reviewed the first 6 practices for creating intentional success, what John Maxwell calls his daily dozen. These were the first half of the practices you will use to become intentional about your success. In this lesson, part 3, you will learn the final intentional practices you will use to guarantee tomorrow's success. If you will give me your attention for the next 20 minutes, rest assured you will know how to be intentional about success as well as changing your life. In part 3, you will continue learning John Maxwell's daily dozen for creating intentional success. As we learn about each practice, there will be questions for you to reflect on. Your reflection on these questions is very important because they will help you grow to be intentional. Let's review all 12 practices. First, I will choose to display the right attitudes. Second, I will determine and act on important priorities. Third, I will know and follow healthy guidelines. Fourth, I will communicate with care for my family. 5, I will practice and develop good thinking. 6, I will make and keep proper commitments. 7, I will keep and properly manage finances. 8, I will deepen my faith. 9, I will initiate and invest in solid relationships. 10, I will plan for and model generosity. 11, I will embrace and practice good values daily. And last but not least, number 12, I will embrace and experience improvements. Now, in part 1, I shared a little bit about my story being a young ROTC cadet when I entered college. And I told you the first year I was a cadet, I was rated at the bottom of our peer assessments by my fellow colleagues. Yes, I was absolutely the worst cadet, and they rated me as the worst cadet. But by my senior year, I had become the first female cadet commander, and I won every leadership award that year. So how did I go from being last to first? Well, I made a decision to be intentional about growing as a cadet. Because as you can imagine, being rated at the bottom by your peers is not a good feeling. And after that happened, it was a wake-up call for me. You see, up to that point, I was determined to do what I thought was best for me without giving any consideration to how it impacted anybody else. And so when the cadets would ask me to do things or to pitch in and help, my normal response was, no, I can't do that. I'm busy. I have plans, whatever. But after I saw how that attitude was impacting my success, I realized that I had to make a change. And I couldn't just make a change, I had to be intentional about the things that I was going to change. So, what are some of the things that I did over that next 3 years to move from last to first? Well, every day I went by the ROTC office. I was intentional to carve out time in my schedule to go by there. Sometimes it was just to say hello and ask, how's everybody doing? Other days I would go and ask if they needed any assistance. I would do extra projects for them. I would volunteer. I would offer to take on different responsibilities. And slowly but surely, by being very intentional about the things that I was doing, I moved from the bottom to the top. So that in my senior year, I was honored to be the first female cadet commander. It is because I was intentional in the choices that I was making, intentional in the decisions that I was making, that I was able to move from last to first. Now, are you ready to be intentional about your success and your growth? Then let's grow. Today's finances give me options. Reflect on these questions. How did your parents view money? Were they spenders or savers or something in between? And the second question, what is the biggest financial lesson you have learned in your life? And how did you learn it? We have to make sacrifices and live within our means today so that we can have financial options tomorrow. Our goal is to avoid debt because money will not make you happy. But owing money is certainly going to make you miserable. Our goal is to build wealth, but that takes time. So we have to become good earners by finding what we do well and excelling in it. We should also give generously because the purpose of wealth isn't to spoil yourself, but to serve those in need. Remember, we are to be rivers and not reservoirs. Today's faith gives me peace. Reflect on these two questions. How does your faith impact your life? And has your faith changed throughout the years, or has it remained fairly constant? Explain why. Faith is something bigger than ourselves, and it enlarges our perspective and enriches our lives. Faith endows life with meaning, and it supplies strength to endure the hardships and to rebound from setbacks. Everybody has faith. It's simply a matter of where they put it. Today, explore and deepen your faith and draw nourishment from it. Today's relationships give me fulfillment. Here are your two questions to reflect on. First, which relationship has enriched your life the most and why? Second, how would your friends describe you? Which qualities in your life make them glad to be your friend? See, we have to make a decision to initiate relationships and deposit goodwill in them daily. We will enjoy life more when we share it with others, and we will go farther in life when people genuinely like us. It's important to place a high value on people because they are an organization's most appreciable asset. And when we help them thrive, they drive our business forward. Today's generosity gives me significance. Questions to ponder. When was the last time you volunteered to serve? Describe the experience. What was it like? And what sacrifices would you need to make to increase your charitable giving by 1% of your income? Greatness is not defined by what a person receives, but what a person gives. See, significance comes from assisting others and adding value to their lives. Don't wait for prosperity to become generous. And don't wait until you have extra time to serve others. Every day, look for reasons to give and search for opportunities to lend a hand to those around you. Today's values give me direction. Reflect on these two questions. First, what values impact your decision making and affect your behavior? How did those values originate? Second, what happens when we act in ways that contradict our values? Every day, we should review our values and reflect on them. We should also seek alignment between our beliefs and our behavior. Keeping our values in front of us prevents us from veering off course in life. Because in the heat of the moment, we can be tempted to abandon our values and take shortcuts to success. However, if we honor our values, even at great personal cost, we can preserve our self-worth, and it will also allow us to take pride in who we are. Today's growth gives me potential. More questions to reflect on. Are you a goal setter? Why or why not? Second question, what is your learning style? Are you a visual learner, meaning you see pictures and images to learn? Verbal learner. You learn through reading and writing. Physical, hands-on experience. Oral, listening to sounds and music. And the last style is logical, using logic, reasoning, and systems. Or do you prefer to learn in groups, which is a social learner, or by yourself, a solitary learner? Because growth doesn't happen automatically, and exposure to information or experience doesn't necessarily change anyone. We grow only when we apply what we know. And by being intentional about developing and following a personal growth plan. Each day, we should endeavor to acquire knowledge and to put it to use. Keep in mind, no one else is tasked with making sure you grow. You are responsible for improving yourself personally and professionally. Now, as a special bonus for watching this entire screencast series, I have something special to share, something to help you grow. John Maxwell's teaching, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. This is a free resource, and you don't have to sign up for anything, and there is no registration required. Just visit my John Maxwell team website at www.johnmaxwellgroup.com/Kim D. Moore. Once you're there, select Special Offers and Events from the menu bar, scroll down to the audio teaching, and click on the play button. Remember, www.johnmaxwellgroup.com/Kim D. Moore. You have just learned the final 6 of John Maxwell's 12 intentional practices to guarantee tomorrow's success. Let's review the entire daily dozen. First, I will choose to display the right attitudes. Number 2, I will determine and act on important priorities. Number 3, I will know and follow healthy guidelines. Number 4, I will communicate with care for my family. Number 5, I will practice and develop good thinking. Number 6, I will make and keep proper commitments. Number 7, I will earn and properly manage finances. Number 8, I will deepen my faith. Number 9, I will initiate and invest in solid relationships. Number 10, I will plan for and model generosity. Number 11, I will embrace and practice good values daily. And number 12, I will embrace and experience improvements. You know, I told you in part 1 that I transitioned from being a military officer to a classroom teacher. Now, my degree is in biology with a minor in chemistry, and I am not an education major. So how did I become a teacher? Well, I had to be very intentional about the things that I was doing, because to be a teacher, I had to earn credits in educational courses that would satisfy the state's requirement to earn my professional teaching certificate. So I began teaching. I would take classes on the weekend for my educational courses. In addition to taking courses, I was responsible for developing my lessons every day for my students. I was still a full-time mother, a full-time wife. How did I accomplish all of this? Well, I had to be very intentional about how I used my time. So I developed a routine. When I came home at the end of the day, for the next couple of hours would be family time, where I would help my children with their homework, cook dinner. We'd sit down, have a family dinner. At 8 o'clock, I would go in my office. From 8 to 11, I prepared my lessons for the next day. On the weekends, I went to school, and then I tried to take a little break Sunday mornings to go to church, and then Sunday evenings, I started over again. But by being intentional with the choices that I was making, I was able to accomplish my goal to become a classroom teacher. As you reflect on John's daily dozen, what are your daily dozen? Remember, today matters. And if you want to be successful, be intentional. Start by developing and following your daily dozen, because you have the power to change your life. Now, you probably have a longing to be significant, to make a contribution, to do something noble and purposeful. But do you doubt that these things are within your reach? The key to choosing a life that matters is being intentional. Thank you for viewing the Creating Intention Success screencast and learning intentional practices to guarantee tomorrow's success. It has been my pleasure to serve you, and I pray that this screencast has added value to you. If there's something I can help you with during your success journey, please let me know. You can reach out to me through my website, telephone, email, or social media. This is your friend, Kim Moore. Be intentional, be successful. Significance is within your reach.